no stranger!
Tom Comer, I knew you'd be back. What's the big city got to offer that we haven't?
Hot women, I'll bet.
Hello, welcome to Premier Scene. I'm Bueno. As a true sense of community spirit brings an independent film to the big screen as we attend the world premiere of A Tortoise in Love.
What's that beautiful music?
It's Anya. She's my new au pair.
So you found yourself a man yet?
No.
Don't worry, we'll find you a nice Englishman.
All the good ones are taken.
Doesn't mean you can't try them.
This is the fruits of your labour. Tell us how the whole idea and the concept came about.
Well, because I've always written humour, I thought I'm going to find out how to make funny films. And I thought no one's going to pay me to do that, so the only way I'm going to do it is get my whole community to do it with me. And they did. I said, guys, let's make a film, take it to Leicester Square. And they all said yes. And the only reason they said yes is because they didn't know and I didn't know just how difficult it was. But we got there anyway.
So when did you first start the project?
2009, so it's taken us 3 years from script to screen, which is, it seems like a long time, but that's pretty normal. So, you know, it's been a bit of a wait, but we're here now, and that's the main thing.
So how did you announce this idea to the community?
Every year we have an idea for the village fete, and I said, this year, guys, the idea is going to be a little bit bigger. It's going to be a film, and we're taking it to Leicester Square. And they said, yep, sounds good, let's do it.
And had you got already the concept of the story in mind? Because obviously a film is only as good as the content, really.
I knew we had to write something. We had to write something we could make in the village. We have a beautiful stately home, so we made it a story of the gardener in the stately home. And that's how we did it.
Hello, Tom. Would you like a cup of tea?
Once in a while, a man will fall in love.
Are you okay?
I think so.
Tom's in love with Anya!
Very, very slowly.
You're in there, mate. Don't move too fast, though. Give it another year or two.
It's hugely exciting. You don't very often get the opportunity, in fact, you never get the opportunity to drive a tractor halfway across London and into Leicester Square for a film premiere, so truly exciting.
And how did you become a part of the film?
Well, Guy Browning, the director, is a great friend of mine, and he came to me and said, could you do a few things in the film? So we helped provide location, we helped put a bit of money in to get it started. I did the grand total of 4 words in the whole film, my limited acting role, and then we did various other things. And then the film got made, and then he came back to me and said, we're going to have a premiere in Leicester Square. Could you find a tractor, please, and get it into Leicester Square? So I had a bit of work to do then, but Massey Ferguson very kindly came up trumps and got me a tractor. And I've driven it halfway across London to get it in here tonight.
Have you really? What experience was that like?
It was terrific. I never thought I would drive a tractor right up in front of the House of Commons, round Parliament Square, up Whitehall, round Trafalgar, up to Piccadilly and into Leicester Square. You don't get that chance very often.
And apart from that, taking part in the film, what's that whole experience been like for you?
It was lovely, actually, because of the inclusive nature. There was a role for anybody within the village, and that's very special, actually, to pull that off. So you could be an actor if you wanted to be, you could provide accommodation, you could just bake fairy cakes to do with the catering, as the WI did. So there was a role for everyone, and that's very special. Yeah.
I think, is that a good example as well, to be setting the this camaraderie that there's so few of, really.
Well, I think this whole big society thing seems to have gone a bit quiet, but I think this film was a great example of people working together to do something, and it's amazing what you can achieve if you put your minds to it, and I think that inclusive nature and making it happen are very special elements of this film.
He's got it bad, hasn't he?
You talk to plants, but you can't talk to women.
You get a lot more sense out of plants.
The cafe scene towards the end of the film, then you'll see Joan, a very great friend of mine, in the cafe, and myself, and you'll get the Birmingham accent beautifully on that one, I can tell you.
and what was it like for you being in front of the camera? Were you nervous?
No, funnily enough, I wasn't. We also did a scene with the choir in the church, and that went very, very well indeed. So that's quite very, very interesting. And it was absolutely wonderful. It really was.
And because you've got a great community, haven't you, already in the village? Did it bring everybody even more closer together?
Yes, it certainly did. It was, well, the atmosphere was absolutely fantastic. When Guy proposed it to us originally, we went for it, and I went for it in a big way, to be perfectly honest. And I was surprised that I was invited to come into the scenery part of it. I thought I might be just the photographs on the wall.
Why can't you just kiss her?
Because you can't just kiss people. There's a lot more to it than that.
Like what?
Preamble, background checks, that type of thing. You can't just kiss.
Maybe he plays hard to get.
No, men don't play hard to get, because we all know they're not hard to get.
What's the whole experience been like for both of you?
Well, it was a whirlwind. I mean, we've got day jobs as well. So, you know, we took annual leave to work on the film, and it's just the most fun you can have, being with intelligent, like-minded other people and just playing about.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we got to meet lots of other actors. It was the summertime, so, you know, we had barbecues, we had the WI cooking us cakes and everything else. You know, it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, the whole village pulled together really well. A lot of the actors come down from all over the country, and a lot of the village put them up. You know, it was a really good effort from everyone. It worked out really well. It was quite nice.
Not coming from the village, rather, does it give you a sense of community that maybe we've lost in Britain, really?
Yeah, we live in Oxford, so in the nearest city, and I'd like a lot more of that community feel. But we have actually been back. We helped one couple, so yeah, Vanessa and Chris. Vanessa's the hairdresser. We went to their, I think, 10th wedding anniversary, didn't we? So we've stayed in touch with a few people.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic experience. You know, we've met some really lovely people. We've stayed in contact with people, and yeah, there's definitely a bond in that village. That it's a very unusual village. You know, it's one of those quirky English villages. You know, where everyone sticks together. It's quite nice.
What you got to remember is that all is fair in love and war. That's because love and war are very similar.
That's when he needs a little help.
What do women really want?
Shoes.
Shoes.
Neal, well, great to meet you this evening. Here we are in Leicester Square.
Fantastic. It's absolutely marvellous, isn't it, to get here finally. 3 years, so it's wonderful.
How did you get involved with the project?
I got an email from Guy saying they were looking for a fat, sweaty landlord. And at the time I was quite fat and quite sweating, just like I am now, and it just seemed quite ideal. So we got together, we had a chat, and things went on from there. So yeah, so I play the landlord, Kevin.
And so is this your first time in front of camera?
No, I've done a few things before, a little bit of TV, a few short films and a couple of features, yeah.
And what's been the experience of being on this film compared to other films that you've worked on?
It's totally different. I was on set, I think, for 2 weeks. I lived with some of the people in the village for 2 weeks, and it was the best experience. I'm not saying that because I'm here at the premiere, that I've ever had on set. Just the camaraderie, the way the people had pulled together, the way Guy had pulled everybody together. It was absolutely fantastic. We had so much fun. We were prancing around in horse costumes, running through rivers. It was just insane for 2 weeks. It was fantastic.
And has the film come out at a great time as well, celebrating British culture? We got the Jubilee, we got the Olympics.
The timing is just incredible. I mean, I have to say, the work that Guy's put into this, and Steph, the producer, to get the film to this stage at this time. We've got the Queen's Jubilee, we've got the Olympics, Leicester Square's just been refurbished. It's all about Britishness, it's the best of British, and you cannot get a more British film than Tortoise In Love. It was actually made by a village. It's incredible.
Have you had your hair done?
Yes. Do you like it?
Yeah. Makes your shoes look bigger.
Alice, lovely to meet you this evening. Now this is your world premiere for the film.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Tell us about your part.
Well, I play Anya. She's a Polish au pair. I speak like this in the film. And she and Tom, the gardener, fall in love with each other, but they're both really rubbish at getting it on, and the villagers have to help, and then there's all kinds of wonderful other kind of subplots, and it's all about community spirit, really.
And in every sense of the word, because even behind the camera, if it wasn't down to the community, this film wouldn't have been made, would it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That could be a film in itself, actually. Yeah.
Well, can't wait to see the extra features. What was the whole experience like for you as an actress? Because it's obviously completely different to what you're normally used to.
Well, actually, I'm not even really an actress. I'm a musician. I sing and play violin. That's what I do. So this was somewhat of a departure, actually, for me. Yeah.
What was that experience like then, moving in front of camera and having to deliver dialogue? Was that difficult for you?
In some ways, yes. There's a technical aspect to it, which obviously I wasn't as familiar with. I mean, I'm used to performing, and I love the idea of a character drama. I'm a singer. It's part of the job, but it's there's a whole other side that a lot of the other actors were very, very helpful to me and really supportive, which I was really grateful for.
Was it difficult for you to remember dialogue, because obviously you remember the words of music, but when it's in a rhythm, it has a completely different momentum, hasn't it?
Yeah, sure. No, I see what you mean. I think actually if you just try to really, really sit inside your character and think about where the scene is going, then that normally jogs the memory if you feel like there's something missing. Yeah.
And has it inspired you to move on to play other parts and go into acting and pursue that, really?
I mean, I'd definitely be interested. If the right thing came along, then of course I'd consider it. I had a really wonderful time and really love the artistry of it, so we'll see.
But when a whole village comes together, things can speed up.
Can you tell us how you became attached to such an exciting and rare project, really?
Yeah, it was sort of a weird thing. I've got a mutual friend with the director, and he couldn't find anyone to be in the film. Play the lead, I guess, in the film. And my friend said to him, well, what about this guy? He's not really an actor, he's a writer, but he does a bit of documentary making. And Guy met me, we had lunch, and he thought I had the right sense of humour to deliver the lines. So, he offered me the role. And I thought he was a fantasist. I thought it was never going to happen because it was made in such an extraordinary way, this film. So I just said yes on that basis, that it would never happen. And it did. And now we're here in Leicester Square. So.
But you can't believe it.
Not really, no.
And what's it been like for you to sort of, obviously you've got an artistic flair to be a writer and a documentary filmmaker. So now changing that skill and putting it in front of camera, was that daunting?
Yeah, it was a bit daunting, but I found it. I just quite like doing something different, and on that basis, I was kind of happy to do it. And then I really enjoyed it when I was doing it, and I just love the way the film was made, and the Women's Institute making cakes and doing all that. And then you stay with the people who are in the village, and they're driving you around, and they do everything and running runners as well. So they took all the roles, and it was great. Yeah.
Was it an interesting side of filmmaking that you've never seen before?
Well, I've never really seen any side of filmmaking, so it was fascinating. Yeah.
Even with your documentaries, are they?
Well, I've been in front of a camera before, but not in this way. And it's a much sort of slower process in a way, So no, it was an extraordinary adventure, and I was very happy to do it.
And with regards to a sense of community that it's bringing to Britain, do you think that's important, that this film should do well to show that, really?
I think that David Cameron always talks about the big society, and I don't think he really knows what it is. But I think that his idea is somewhere buried beneath that is that communities come together, and that's exactly what it is. Apart from they did it before his big idea. So I think that's it's a community. That's what people have done for generations, and not quite making a film, but they've done it in other ways.
And what will you take away with you? Do you have a special memory from making this film and being a part of it?
I suppose maybe the first day on set, where I was pretty terrified. But then there's lots of people staring at you, and someone says action, and then you think, oh no, I have to say something. But then after you get over the initial shock of that, then it's all right.
What are you doing in here?
And miracles can happen.
Cleared for landing.
As rural England makes it to the big screen, we ourselves are going to support a great British independent filmmaking. I'm Claire Bueno, and you're watching Premier Scene.